Everyone. I appreciate you coming on. This is landlording in Nigeria. So the goal is for me to be able to share my own experience and some of the processes or the things that I do. Like I always say, it might not be perfect for everybody, but at least I know it works for me. So the topic for today is, like we said, picking your right tenant. So one of the things I always look at when it comes to tenants that surprised me when I first got into the Nigeria market is people tend to rely a lot on the agent to help them find tenant. There's nothing wrong with their agents, they do the lot work. But most of the time, there are a couple of situations that you can have. Is either you have a house and the tenant is coming to live inside with you in your house, or you have the house somewhere else and the tenant is living in the house in whatever that house is. Whatever that situation that you find yourself, one thing is important. If the tenant is moving in to come and live in the same house that you are staying in, won't you want to know the tenant? That's one thing that always amazes me. People will just say, I will just the agent just brought somebody, the person is ready to pay, the person has this, okay, and they will just sign off and that is it. And I would say, imagine if you have a business, you open a shop, and the shop is you spend like 10 million or 20 million to open the shop, and you now want to hire somebody, and somebody just came to you and say, this is my sister, this is my uncle, please hire this person. You just say, okay, let me hire the person and let me travel. You will not hire the person and then travel. A business that you just set up, but that is exactly what people do when it comes to real estate. Real estate is some houses, they are worth 10 million, 50 million, 20 million. You just leave it to the agent. If you are just joining in, please mute. If you are just joining in, you just leave it to the agent, and you just say, "Oh, let the agent do bring whoever they want." We are not going to do that for a regular business. You are not going to set up a regular business and just leave it to an agent. Yes, the agent is going to do their job, but your job as a landlord is also to say, I need to know this person. If you now want to hire somebody to come and manage your 20 million or 30 million naira business, you will say, please, I need your CV. I need to interview you. I need to talk to you. Who are you? Where are you coming from? Do I know your family? Because why do you want to know the family? Because if you don't know the family, you can just wake up and they have packed all your load and they have disappeared. But we don't think about that when it comes to house. Because we say, they can't carry my house now. But that person can destroy your house. The person can be living, and they can remove and see where they have removed the electrical component, all the wire. They have removed all the wire and they just package everything and they moved it. So one of the things I always tell people is think about a landlord as a business. If I want to run this business, what will I do? What are the things that I'm going to need? Yes, you need to have agents. But one thing I tell people is, it's not even the job of the agent to find you a good tenant. They will say, that agent, what if me tenant? She won't for me tenant, wala tenant ti pọ̀ jù. Why? It's not the job of the agent to find you the best tenant. The job of the agent is to just find you a tenant. So it is up to you to decide. But if you now say, well, I don't want to be involved in my business, then whatever happens, you have to take responsibility for that. And that is what I noticed. Even people that are in diaspora, they will say they will build us in Nigeria. They will say, I gave it to somebody to manage it for me. And I'll tell them, how can you have a business and you give it somebody to manage for you? When you know you are not ready to open a business, why don't you put your money in the bank? So it's the same process here. You want to do a landlord. It's a business. It's not a charity. It's not something. It's a full-time job. That's what I tell people. It's not something you will just do and just. It's a full-time job. So one of the things that I do is I have an application that I created. So even when the agent, even when they fill out their own application and they say, "Oh, I want to bring this person to me," I will say, "This is my own application." They should also fill out my own application. Inside my application, they will put their information. What job do they do? Who are they? This and that. They will put guarantors. So if you want to write this down, please, you can feel free to write. They'll put guarantors. Who is your guarantor number one? What is their number? What do they do? Now, is it enough for people to put information down? No. Anybody can put anything down. We are Nigerians. Anybody can put. I can say I'm George Ware. If you don't know who George Ware is, you just think I'm also George Ware. You will just put me in your house. and you don't know if I'm Judge Ware or I'm not Judge Ware. So another thing I do is, it is important that you give me documentation. So before you can rent for me, you have to provide me official document. If you are the person that want to rent the house, you have to provide me official documentation. Something that has your NIN, you have to provide it. If the person say, I'm not comfortable with my NIN, I say, Oga, maybe you go and look for your house somewhere else. Because again, it is a business. If something happens and you don't have documentation of the people that are living in your house, it is a big problem. People don't realize that. I can tell you for a fact that I've had situation when police have come to look for somebody. And when they gave me the picture of the person, I said, no, this person does not live with me. I have all the record of everybody that lives with me. And I have their information. The name you are asking for does not match the person you are looking for. I can give you documentation. They left. It was a tenant that called me. And I say, what if I don't have the information? I don't even know the people. Will I say, let me call the agent? This was 11 p.m. The police that came, they came at 11 p.m. They didn't come in the afternoon or morning. You know how they used to come at night. They came at 11 p.m. to look for somebody. Will I be looking for the agent number to call the agent number? No. So as a responsible landlord, I have to make sure that I also have my application. So I always tell my tenant, please make sure you have at least 2 documents. One of them must have official government NIN. The other one, I don't care. It can be school ID or work ID or whatever. I don't care. That is very important. Now, it's not everybody that goes to school. It's not everybody that go to work. So what if the person is a shoemaker, or they have a restaurant and all that? They will still have NIN. But if I don't have the second documentation, one of the things that I also tell my agent is, look, go and find out if this person has a shop. Maybe the shop is somewhere. The shop did not go anywhere. Please go and check the person's shop. Go and see if the person actually has a shop, if the person is actually selling anything. I tell my agent that. I say, do you know this person? Have you been to their shop? They say, I say, look, it only cost you 2,000 naira or 3,000 naira to go to that person's shop. They say, okay, I'll go and check. I say, please go and check this person. If I'm in Nigeria, I don't need the agent to do that. If the person say, hey, my shop is in Iwo Road, I'll say, okay, I'll collect your application. I'll call you. I'll say, hello, sir. Okay, I see you have submitted application. I will give you a call. Okay, where's your shop? Okay, I will just look as if I'm in that area. I'll just say, oh, I'm just driving in this area. Or maybe you say your shop is around this area. Okay, let me stop by. There's nothing wrong in knowing where your tenant is as work. Imagine if something, God forbid, the tenant kills somebody in your house and they disappear. You don't have any application. You don't know where they are. You are the one that will be dealing with police. You are the one. It's just the truth. You are the one that will be dealing with police. So you will not be saying, I don't know the person. No, it's Lagbaja agent. The agent that you say brought the person, the agent who has run away. Lobaton. You have to now, you have to deal with the problem. So this is what I tell people, that it's very important. You can pick your agent and say, look, please, can you help me? That if it's somebody that has a professional, they have a job somewhere in a bank or whatever, they should be able to have an ID. And if you ask somebody for these things and they are reluctant to give you, as a landlord, shine your eyes, shine your eyes, use sense. Do I want to put this person in my house? Because I'm telling you, you don't know the people that are gun runner, that are doing other business that you don't know. Now, you can still do all that, and the person might be doing shady business. But you have done what we call due diligence as a landlord. You have done it to make sure that at least I can tell the government that I did what I'm supposed to do. I have my application. This is the person's NIN. This is the person's document. Even if the person run away, you can provide what you have. It shows that you are not complicit in the problem. But if you are lazy, when problem happen, you are going to be on your own. So that's one thing that I realized. And for the guarantors, I always say that the guarantor should also submit ID. But I don't always ask the guarantors to submit NIN. I will say guarantor can submit any ID. The reason is because I don't want people to put down Mickey Mouse as their guarantor or put Superman as their guarantor, because it's somebody that I don't know. So how do I even know that the person you put as guarantor, that person wants you to be their guarantor? How will I know that? But if I say, please, your guarantor must provide me one piece of ID, that means the person renting from me must go to the guarantor and get a piece of ID. So if the person say, my guarantor is not ready to give me, I'll say, go to another guarantor. If you cannot find two people that can give you ID for you to rent house, something is wrong with you. Something is, because you are not just renting house for me. If you are saying you want to rent house, if your brother cannot be your guarantor and give you ID, if your mother cannot be your guarantor and give you ID for you to rent, there's something I need to be very careful about the kind of person you are. Of course, I can still rent to the person, but at least I know that, hey, I don't know anybody that is going to guarantee this person. That is my own choice to still decide if I want to rent with the person. But me, personally, I don't rent to people that cannot provide documentation in terms of guarantor. Their guarantor must provide at least one piece of ID. But the person renting, you either produce two pieces of ID, or at least I know where you work. We go and make sure that we verify that. It's very important. The reason I say that guarantor should provide piece of ID is, if you just say that, put the name of the guarantor down, the number. I can put anybody's name down. I will just say, my landlord will call you. Just tell them you are this person. You just call the number. They'll say, oh, yes, I'm Kinikon. Because all you did is just call to verify. They can tell anybody to pretend to be anybody. But when the whole matter happened, everybody don't disappear. You realize that all of them, they are all gangs. They all work together. They all plan everything together. It's you that you are the landlord, that you now be dealing with the problem. And I always say that because your tenant can get into problem with another tenant, and they will now be looking for that tenant. If they cannot find that tenant, and that tenant has done something to your other tenant, it's you they will come and carry. God forbid that the tenant they did something to is somebody that knows somebody in a commissioner of police or somewhere. It's you that the homeowner that they will come and carry. They say you need to provide us this person. You now say, hey, I don't even remember which agent brought this person to me. Or you are in trouble. Before you sort yourself out, maybe you have spent 2 or 3 days inside the locker room or something somewhere. Before you sort yourself out, that is what people don't understand. You have to be very cautious about, do I have enough documentation on this person? And one thing I tell my tenant is, look, there's nothing I want to do with your documentation. Once you move out of my house, I discard it. But other than that, and also I don't need you to bring me a physical copy. Just take a picture, send it to me. It's for me to know that I have it. I don't need your physical NIN. I don't need your physical voter's card. Just take a picture, send it to me. Now, if you go and make a fake one, that is your own. Me, I don't collect everything I need. If the government now say, this person is fake, I say, how will I know it's fake? I'm not government. It is what the person gave me that I gave you guys. So you have saved yourself. You have saved yourself. But if you don't have any documentation on the tenant, or more, that is bad landlording. And is you not deciding that you want to do your job. And I'm telling you, a lot of people, they don't want to do this job. They just want to collect the money. And when you collect the money, it's not good enough. Another reason why you need to collect documents. Let's say the tenant decide that, okay, I'm going to just be crazy. I'm not going to give you I'm going to stop paying your money. For example, you now say, I want to take this person to court. What are you going to present in court? You're only going to present the person's number and the name, and the person's number and the name. Is that enough? That's not enough. But if you have some document to back up, this is the person, this is what the person look like. Abi is the person you want to take to court. You say, let me get the camera, let me go and snap the person and say, this is the person I want to sue. You cannot do that. Or some people say, let me now call agent. Agent will say, let me call lawyer. All of them will start chopping your money because you have not done what you are supposed to do. But if you have the picture of the person, the document of the person, you can even give it to a lawyer. They can draft an application for you. You can submit it in court. That is enough. If the person does not show up in court, at least the court knows this is the person, this is what the person look like. So a lot of times when the tenant is reluctant to give you information, please shine your eyes. And if you know shine your eyes, run. That is my big thing. The other one that I do interview. Because when I get application, it's not enough for me to just give you an application and I say, okay, I know who you are. I will interview you. Just like I'm doing with you guys now. I'm doing one-on-one. I do interview. I say, hello, good morning, sir. I saw that you are looking for an apartment. Okay, the apartment is in Iwo Road. Please, why are you looking for an apartment in Iwo Road? If the person say, oh, I travel a lot, I want to be around the Iwo Road, that's good. If the person just say, I'm relocating, I say, okay, I saw you are from Akwa Ibom. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. What job do you do? You already have it in the application though, but you will still ask. Because again, this is somebody you are bringing into your house. You don't know them from anywhere. You don't know, and the agent doesn't want to collect their own commission. They don't bloody care. I'm sorry to say, I know some agents are nice, but most of them they just want to collect their own money and just leave. So you just say, okay, let me interview you. What are you? You say you're a banker. Oh, okay. Wow, which of the bank? I work at First Bank. Wow, my first account is with First Bank. You guys with dialogue. Say, oh, what part of First Bank do you work? Oh, so anytime I need loan, I can come to you. You guys will laugh. Is one way for you to endure yourself to the tenant. And for the tenant to also know that you are a real person. You are not just one landlord that you don't have fire on your head. It's just you introduce yourself, you get to know, say, oh, me too, I'm doing this. Okay, okay, it's nice to know you. Oh, you know what? I'm very happy to that you want to rent with us. I appreciate it. You discuss with the person. You get to know the person, and you now say, okay, let me know once we are done with the interview. Please, you can make your payment. I do not receive payment from any tenant until I have collected application and I've done the interview. If I don't have time for the interview that day, they have to wait till the next day. All this, I already have the money right now. I can pay the money right now. It's not about the money, my friend. It's not about the money, because they can pay you 1 year money and give you 3 years of hell. 3 years of hell. You will just be like, Lori, how much did I even collect that I'm going through all this? Is because you made it look as if the money is the most important thing. The money is important, but you must not make it look like you are desperate for the money. Collect the document, do the interview. If the person say, I'm not available to do the interview, when are you going to be available? In 2 days. Okay, we'll do the interview in 2 days. Can I pay right now? No, I don't collect money. After we finish the interview, I'll give you my account. You can make payment. Another reason why you do video call is you want to make sure that the picture of the person and the document you have matches the person you are talking to. What if they just submit you document and they take picture and they came from somebody and they pass it and they cook it with the agent? Again, not all agents are bad though. But if they cook it with the agent, you just have document in your hand. The document that belongs to somebody else. And whereas it's somebody else that is living in your apartment. It's something for you to think about. Just look at this. Let's just do the interview. Sometimes the interview, they don't take more than 30 minutes. You do the interview and everything is good. Another reason why I do interview, and again, picking the right tenant, is you can explain what are the things that you want from your tenant. If the person is okay with that, you guys can dialogue. Oga, have you checked the apartment? Oh, yes. What I have is what I'm renting. You cannot move in tomorrow now and tell me that toilet is not flushing. This is not that. I am not responsible for that. The tenant too will laugh. Me too, I will laugh. I will say it's true, because people have called me that there's mosquito coming into their house. I beg, what am I supposed to do? Am I the one that brought the mosquito? So you guys will laugh. But at the end of the day, the person will understand that you are not going to be responsible for certain things. And the person will agree. Say, look, if you are not sure, go and check the house again. Whatever you see is what I'm renting. Go and check again. Somebody just told me this 2 days ago now. They keep fixing one thing. He said, even the money we have collected, we have finished spending the money to fix. As we are fixing this one, we are fixing that one. And I said, the mistake you made is because, number one, you don't know your tenant. You have to pick the right tenant. You have to interview your tenant. You have to speak to, and you have to tell them, this is what you have to do, and this is what I expect from you as my tenant. And also as your landlord, this is what you should expect from me. If you have a problem that requires me to fix, I will fix it. You let them know, and the two of you will talk, and you agree, and then they will now make payment. If something happens, you say, remember, we did an interview. I told you, when you move in, I cannot be responsible for your toilet. If your toilet is blocked, I can give you somebody. But remember our interview, you can always refer back to that. The tenant will not give you problem. But if you don't do that and you just collect the money sharp, and the tenant move in, if you are just coming in, please mute. If you are just coming in, please mute. Some tenants, immediately they move in like this, the next day, they started complaining, I don't know, the water is not running very well. This is not that. They will start complaining. It's like they want you to use the money that you just paid to be fixing everything in the apartment. And that is why, hello, sir, if you are just joining, please mute. It's like they just moved in, but they are telling you to use all the money that you just collected to be fixing this, fixing that. At the end of the day, you realize as a landlord, that you did not really make anything, because you are just fixing this, fixing that, and the water in the toilet is not draining, is not that. Everything you will tell them, go and check the water, flush the toilet, check this, check that. I am not fixing anything once you move in. Oh, what I have is what I'm renting. It is a trust, it's a matter of trust, because the two of you have both agree that this is what you are doing, so that it will not become a fight. If you don't have an interview and discuss all this, the tenant will feel like, I'm complaining, I'm complaining. You are not doing this, you are not doing that. Should be next month, next year, you will come to me for rent. Until then now, we will wait. You will come to me for rent. I've complained about this, I've complained about this, I've complained. You are not doing anything. Okay. Okay, you will come to me for rent. By the time you go and collect rent, or more, it's going to be yawa. Oh. You have to look for ways to drag it with that tenant. Maybe they will stay there extra 3 months or 6 months before they move out. But they will first of all show you shege. Because, again, you did not pick your right tenant. You did not go through the process of making sure this person is the right person for you and discussing your expectation. This is what I expect from you as my tenant. This is what I'm also going to do for you as a landlord. This and this and this is what I'm going to do. Okay? So let me also, I'm going to look at some of the, I want to make sure I don't miss anything that, so that is very, very important. Now, I've talked about the application. Make sure you get an application. Like I said, landlord business is a real business. You will not hire somebody without doing a CV, without doing an interview. You have to do the same thing. Guarantors, make sure that they submit documentation for guarantor. If you can also call the guarantors, please call them. Call them. You can do video call with them if you like. It only costs you a few minutes. It only costs you a few data. Call the guarantor. Hello, sir, hello, ma. I am this, I am that, I am that. If something happens between you and the tenant, you can always call the guarantor. Hello, sir. I called you the other day when Lagbaja wanted to rent. So, I don't know. Lagbaja does not want to pay my rent. We're having issues. And he's not ready to move. The person can call Lagbaja and say, what's going on? Your landlord called me now. I'm the guarantor for your place. And because you have a right to sue not just the person that rent from you. You can sue the guarantor. I'm telling you, you can put the guarantor as a partner to a lawsuit. So the guarantor too will not want any wahala. I say, please, I beg, if you don't want to pay your landlord, move. Oh, I don't want a lawsuit. I don't want any issue. So please, it's very important for you to do that. And don't forget what I said, landlord, you should have one official document from the tenant. The second one can be maybe a work ID or maybe a school ID or something. People usually have that. If the person is a student, they should have a school ID. If they don't have one, let them go and get one. That's how you will know that they are students. Some people, they just claim they are students. They are not even students. They cannot even collect ID because they are not students. But they will tell you that they are students. If you put them in your house, you are on your own. Like I always say, read the application. Very, very important. Another thing that I always tell tenants is I look at the income. If I collect your application now and you are a barber, I don't have any problem with you as a barber. But the question I will ask, Oga, I see that you are a barber. Okay, your salon is nice, but this rent is 500,000. Are you sure this rent will not be a problem for you? It's very important for you to ask tenants that. I hope the person, Oga, because you think I'm a barber. No, I'm not just a barber. I'm a barber, but I also do this, I do this, I do that. You say, okay. You say, okay, no problem. I'm just saying that, have you checked the rent is this? So the person will say, okay, Oga, don't worry, I can pay. Say, because next year, I don't want, when it's time to pay rent, I'll be hearing story that, my job did not come in. Somebody, can I pay half and pay half later? All of that you will discuss. And if the tenant say, okay, no problems, I can always pay your money, I don't have any problem, then you can decide that, okay, this is the tenant that I want. There's one experience that I had. I got an apartment ready, and with this tenant came from, I don't know, maybe he came from Lagos or something. Immediately the guy got into the apartment. He said, this toilet is too low. Can I remove the toilet and the toilet seat and put my own toilet seat? I like something higher. You want to remove the toilet seat from my house? Where will I put the toilet seat if you remove that? He also this cupboard. I have my own wardrobe. This one we can put it downstairs under the step, and I'll put my own wardrobe. Immediately I told them, I said, you know what, Oga, please tell the Oga I'm not renting the house to him anymore, because you are just coming into my house that I want to rent to you, and you're already telling me all these things that you want to remove the toilet, you want to do this. Someone like by the time they are finished with your house after 2 3 years, you will not even recognize your house anymore. They have put partition, they have broken this, they have done you the 50,000 that you collect for that you collect for it will not even cover all the things that you will do in the house. Immediately the guy is asking me, can I remove the toilet? I said, I'm not renting to him. The guy thought it was a joke. Oh. He was calling me, I said, no. I said, immediately you show yourself. I already know that you are going to be trouble. I don't want any trouble. I don't want any wahala. Go and look for your house somewhere. I have the money, this and that. The agent called me. I said, no. Go and look for somebody else. This one, oh, I'm not where I will put a whole wardrobe. I'll go and put it under the step because you want to bring your own wardrobe. If you don't know how to dispose your own wardrobe, I beg, just leave my place alone. So I say that to say that there are some things that you have to watch out for about the kind of tenant that you want to bring into your house. That is, you don't make it about the money. You look at how is this person relating? What is this person saying? How is this person? And if something is telling you when you are doing the interview that something is not really cool with this person, just take your L and just move on. Okay. Another one that I always ask people, like I said, I always say, why do you want to live here? This and that. People give you a reason. Oh, I'm having problem with my husband. They want to move, this and that. Okay, I don't have any problem with that. Whatever reason. I just want to know. It's just good for you to know. Or, it's just I'm starting school in UI. I need a place. Okay, how long do you think you are going to stay here? 1 year, 2 years? Okay, so you have an idea that okay, this is the reason why this person is coming to come and stay with me. Other one, I also ask them, how many people are going to be living in the place? How many people? You have to put that on your application. And for the sake of those that don't know, so I use a Canva. I use Canva. It is the name of the program that I use to create an application. So I just went to Canva. You can try to create a free account on Canva. You can create a free account. If you don't have an access to a free account, I can see if I can add you to my own account. But you can try to create a free account and just look for application or something, and then you just change the name to housing or whatever, and then whatever you want to add, you can add your own. They have like different templates, so you can add your own to it. You can also look online and just say, okay, let me just Google housing application. Okay, this one look like it does everything I want. The one that you don't like, you can use pen or whatever and then just make copies of it and make sure that your agent are using that. Ask how many people want to live there, because this is another problem that used to happen that people don't realize. When I say know your tenant too, because once the tenant pays, hey, once the tenant pays, landlord, you now want to be telling tenant, I thought it's only you that will be living there. Now I see 3 people, 4 people. Oga, it is not your business anymore. The person that has paid, though, you cannot be telling them how many people should live in their house or not. You should have done that kind of interrogation before you give them the house. Oga, how many people is going to be staying with you? It's just me right now, but I have a girlfriend. Sometimes, my sibling can also come and visit me. You say, okay, like how many people do you think? Okay, like 4 or 5 people. You say, okay, if you are not comfortable with that, you just say, I don't think I want to do that. And if you are comfortable with it, at least you have an idea. Not that you are thinking that it's only one person you are renting to, and then it become four, five, six, because you did not do your due diligence. Please always ask how many people are going to be staying with you. And if the person say they have a spouse, okay, is it just you and your spouse? Say, oh, my mom comes occasionally. Sometimes some people say, oh, my girlfriend comes, he just come and visit. Okay, is he coming to visit or coming to stay? Say, oh, coming to visit. Okay, it's just a good way so the person also know that you are curious about all these things, and you are asking them those questions. And you are doing video like that. It's very hard for people to just lie. They will just tell you that they will tell you the truth. And the last one that I always say is, don't make housing about emotion. I've had people say, even my own mama will say, this person is a pastor. I don't care. Oh, a lot of people call the name of the Lord. They're not all of them are of God. Oh. The fact that the person is a pastor, he doesn't, I'm sorry to say, we have to still go through the process. If you're a pastor, where are you? Where's your church? If you don't have a church, okay, so what kind of pastor are you? I need to know. If you have a church, Okay, you are a church. I will see if I can pull it up online. I'll pull it up. If not, I'll tell the agent, you better go visit the church. Maybe they have service. Oga, you are a church pastor. You want to rent 800,000 naira rent. Please, how will you be paying the rent? Oh, it's the church that will be paying the rent. But you never told your agent to go and check out the church. And the church has only 10 people. And you just say, he's a pastor. He said church we pay. You just give the person. You have not done your due diligence. Oh. You are not. You just be fighting fire with fire. You be praying for rent. You also be praying. You be praying for rent. You also be praying that you not collect rent. So I'm saying that to say that it's very, very important for you to do your due diligence. The person is a pastor, go through the process, call the person, do the interview. If you can visit the person's church, I beg, make you go there. You say, okay, you came to the church, I like to know you because you are living with me. I don't know who you are. I've never met you before. So I can say, okay, you see, this is our church, this or that, introduce you. You know that the person is cool. He is somebody that with the little time you visit, people like him. You say, okay, I'm good. He too will not want to embarrass himself. Let me tell you, people don't like embarrassment. So if you have a good tenant and the tenant know that you know where his shop is or whatever, trust me, you are less likely to have any problem. But if the tenant know you don't know anything about them, or who are you going to hold responsible? You cannot hold anybody responsible. So I'm saying that is how we talk about when we say knowing your tenant. That is what we mean by that. It doesn't matter whether the person just say this is the process. If somebody say, why do I need to say this is my process? If you are not comfortable with it, I respect it. You can go and rent somewhere else. But this is my process. I need this document, I need this person, I need this, and I need to also know where you work, this and that. And if you don't want to do it, like I said, get the agent to do it for you. Get the agent to do it. If the agent wants to collect 50,000, say, Oga, I will give you the 50,000, but use 2,000 from it. Go and check this person and verify where this person stays. If the agent will lie to you and you too, and you suspect it, then go and do your own verification yourself. It's very, very important. Okay, so those are the main things, and that is the number one most difficult or the most thing that I realize that people don't do. They don't know who they are renting to. A lot of the problem that people have when they rent, it comes down to not doing any of these things that I talked about at the very beginning. If you don't do it, you are going to have problem later on. And if you have problem later on, you will now spend more money to solve that problem because you did not spend the small money, at the beginning. That's very, very important. So that is really about, we have so many other topics we are going to be looking into. But the first one today that I said I'm going to speak about is this one. Know your tenant. Know your tenant. Can you still hear me? Can you still hear me? Okay. Now, if you have tenants already that you did not collect all this information from the tenant, it is okay right now. But it is important before you renew the lease that you start asking some of this information. You say, Oga, you want to renew your lease. Okay. So you just say, I'm putting a new system. Now, I know you might not be happy about this, and I appreciate and I understand if you are not happy, but there's an application now that you have to fill out, and this and that and this and that. If you know the agent and you can get the information from the agent, please get it. Like I told you, it's a safety thing for you to know your tenants. There are so many things that revolve around that. If somebody is living in your house, you don't know who they are, you don't know their temperament, you don't know their guarantor, you don't know anything. It's very, very dangerous. So I just want to say that is what is most important. And for people that are also agents, please, I just want to beg you, because I know that we have some people that are also agents that might be joining us. Do your best to do well for your landlord, because one thing I always tell my agent is that you can continue to be an agent that is renting my property depends on how well I feel like you have done your job before giving me a tenant. If I have to do your job for you and the tenant is giving me trouble, then I will just tell you not to bring me tenant anymore. So it's very important too for you to put it on your agent that they should also do the due diligence. It's easy, it's okay to collect the money and all that, but at the end of the day, you don't want any problem for yourself. You don't want any problem for yourself. And when the problem starts, it's not all the agent that will stand next to you that will say, I will help you go talk to the tenant. I will help you do this. Not all the agents will do that. Some of them, they'll just leave you by yourself to deal with your wahala. And I'm telling you, you cannot do it because now you want to use strong arm. You want to do this, you want to do that. When all you can do is just call the guarantor. I cannot tell you how many times I've tried to call the tenant and they have changed the number. And I said, this tenant have changed number. I didn't even know. I just called the guarantor. Oh, hello, you are the guarantor of so so so. You say, oh, and the person gave me another number. Or maybe the tenant traveled for a while. You don't know that the tenant has traveled. You are wondering what's going on. Or maybe it's time for them to pay. They are not there to pay, and their load is in the house. And you've called, nobody's picking up. You can't just enter into the house and just go and remove their stuff. You look at the application. Oh, this is the person's guarantor. Okay, what happened? Oh, I've been calling your friend. You are the guarantor. The person can say, oh, he traveled. Okay, he's changed his number. Oh, his phone got stolen. I've had his phone got stolen. You say, okay, please let me call him. It's time for, and the person will go, okay, I've called him. You know what? He said he's sorry. You send somebody to come and pack his stuff. You know? But if you don't have any way to reach the person, you don't know the guarantor, you don't know anything, you just be wondering, should you enter the room? Should you not enter? And if you enter the room and you are not supposed to, that's another wahala. So that is that. So please know your tenants, know their guarantor, get information that you need from them, and make sure you use an application process. So, and if people just give you passport photograph, those little passports, please, that's not a documentation. No, passport photograph is not documentation. No, you need something with NIN that has their picture on it. The person renting from you should be able to provide NIN. If they don't have any document, shine your eyes. So maybe you should consider renting to somebody else. Because they always say a stitch in time saves nine. You don't want to regret something after you have already done it. And I'm telling you, a lot of times, that's what always. Before, I used to have agents that would do all my job for me. When I realized that I kept having problem because I don't do interview, I don't do anything. Is whoever the agent brought to me that I would just take, and I would just, when I started having problem, and the tenant will say, the agent did not tell me this, I didn't know this, I didn't know that. I said, you know what, let me just be doing my own interview jejely. And since I've been doing my interview and I've been collecting the information from my agents and I've been reviewing it, I have had less problem with my tenants. And when it's time for them to leave, we dialogue, we talk. We are not strangers. Some landlord will say, I don't want to have my tenant's number. I don't want them to have my number. I don't. If they want to reach, let them reach out to the agent. Hey, you are on your own. The house belongs to you. If something happens and they say the agent told me this, I say, how can the agent tell you that? I did not tell the agent to tell you that. Maybe it's between them and the agent. Maybe the agent just say, just say that it's okay, you can do this, you can do that. Can I install solar? Yeah, you can do it. Yeah, you don't know what is going on. The person just brings solar, you just say, guy, you cannot install solar in my house. Say, but the agent told me this. That's where the problem starts, because you have left the job to the agent to do for you. The agent cannot do your job for you. This is a business. When you put somebody in your market to supervise it, you also have to supervise the person that is supervising your market. So it's very, very important for you to do your job as a landlord. Know your tenants, collect documentation, review the information, call the guarantor if you need to call the guarantor. If you are opportune to go and visit the place where the person has a shop or something, do it. If the person is working in a professional setting, they might not want you to come there, but at least they should have an ID. They should have an ID of their place of work. They should have an ID of their school. Do what you are supposed to do as landlord. I'm telling you, it makes you have peace of mind. And one of the things I also tell my tenant is, everybody that's living in this house, I know them because I interview them and I have all their documentation. So you can be guaranteed that your safety cannot be compromised, because everybody in this house, I know who they are. And it's also good for the other tenants, because the landlord now knows everyone. So sometimes when there's an issue, this person, I'll just look at the application, look at the number. Sometimes I'll look at the number, I will save it on my phone, I'll call the person right away. What is going on? There are some little issue that as landlord you should be able to solve. Not everything that like the tenant will be calling agent. I'm having problem with this tenant, and you as landlord, I don't want to know anything about it. Oh, let them sort it out. And then when it's time for rent, you want to come and call. You want to collect rent. Okay, come and collect the rent. Come and collect. It's just the truth. You want to collect rent, but you don't want to. You don't want to do the job. No, you have to do the job. You have to do the work. So that is it. That is it for today. You know, so I just want to thank everybody that's able to come here and show up. I really appreciate you for taking your time. And I hope you've learned one or two things. Like I said, we're gonna be meeting every two weeks. Every two weeks we're gonna be meeting. And I'm gonna go next week. The next 2 weeks, I'm gonna post again what the next topic is going to be. Again, as I'm walking you through this process, I'm trying to show you the way I do my things, you know, and I'm telling you that it has given me peace of mind because people always say, landlord is difficult, this and this, people don't pay this month alone. I have about maybe like 3 people that are vacating. They tell me, Oga, I'm vacating. Oh, okay. I'll say, okay, before you vacate, we'll come and do inspection, we'll do all that. If everything looks good, I'll give you your money. I don't want to keep your refundable deposit. I'll give you your deposit. If everything is bad, I will say, okay, Oga, you have to fix this, you have to fix it. We agree on it. Because before you move in, you know how the place look like. Now that you are leaving, we will discuss it. We discuss it and we agree and we go our separate ways. We go as good people. No hard feelings you know. But in a situation where you don't want to know anything about your tenant, you don't want to deal with them, you don't want to do anything, whatever you discover, well, like I said, you are on your own. You are the one that will deal with the consequences. The agent will not come and deal with the consequences for you. You are the landlord. This is your house. So that is that. Do we have any on this topic of knowing your tenants? Please, if you have any question, you can raise your hand, or you can just unmute your mic. I'll give us about 5 or 10 minutes. If you have any question, please, this would be a good time to ask. If you have any question, this would be a good time to ask. And if you don't have any question, you know, um, I just want to say again, thank you so much. And I know we have some agents on our day. I thank you guys for what you are doing. I know some of you are some of your best when it comes to what you do, you know. But please, also as agent, look out for your tenants. As agent, look out for your landlord, because I think that is one of the things I tell people. That's why it has gotten more difficult for people to rent because people rent to tenants, they destroy their house. The next time they increase the rent, they destroy their house. Next time they increase the deposit. So things have gotten more difficult because we don't have all this process in place. So we are hoping that things will get better and things will really calm down. So if there are no other question, thank you so much, everyone. If you have any other question that you think that you were able to think about later on, please feel free to just drop it in the group. I'll leave the group open for today, and then after that, I'll close the group up again. Okay. All right. Thank you so much.